All of this world turns. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody had a great night. We're a couple of days into spring break. Is everybody okay? Is everybody okay? You got things in your fridge. Do you have a crazy amount of water bottles unfinished around the house? Yeah, start making them write their names on the water so that you don't have to do the whose water is this dance, right? This is why a lot of people started using water bottles, but then the water bottles get left everywhere, right? So, for those of you who know, do the best you can, right? Because these kids can be a lot, but we love them, right? We love them as much as we can, and we do the best we can. But we also have to be examples. We have to show the kids the things that we want to see from things. It's not enough to give instructions anymore. So, here we are, your neighborhood love dealer. How are you? I'm just dealing out some doses today. And I want to do the Bible verse. Yeah, I got some frequency movie and music in the back, right? Yeah, I want to do the Bible verse first because I've got a lot. And I've been reading my book. And let me tell you, why the book was talking about Uncle Donnie. Not specifically. Not specifically. The book was talking about it mentioned NATO. And it's funny because hold up, let me see. I don't see when the book was written. Hold up, let me see. Because he's got a lot. This is the John Grisham book, and it's funny. I need to get in contact with this guy seriously because of the things that he wrote in this book, and right now the current state of where we are right now, and the fact that Uncle Donnie wants to bust up NATO, right? The funny part about that is I was scrolling on YouTube when I saw that he wants to bust up NATO. I am sweating. It is a little warm here, okay? And I'm not ready to turn on the air just yet. But yeah, in the book, right in the book, they were talking about dismantling NATO. And then I put the book down because I'm like, okay, my eyes need a little bit of rest. I've been in the pages. And then I scroll, and the first thing I see is NATO. And Trump saying how he wants to dispel NATO. And NATO is a bunch of different foreign entities that have come together, and the agreement was to have each other's back through this type of situation that we have in Iran and Iraq, and it's just the synchronicities are syncing. Okay, so as soon as I turn away from the book is mentioning NATO, and so is Uncle Donnie, right? Okay. I can call him Uncle Donnie because I have uncles that I don't like and I have uncles that I do like. So there are some good people and then there are some bad people, right? So I call him that because everybody's got a couple shitty uncles who do a lot of shitty shit, but they know how to get money. And when you always see them, they look like they're doing well. But let's think. Let's open this up. Let's Jarvis this thing, right? Now that we're recognizing the patterns of such things, we do know that most of the people who appear to be well off or doing well aren't doing as well as we think or what we look at or what we see. A lot of times when we see people the way that they want to be seen. We don't see the cracks, the crevices. We don't see the ups, the downs. We don't see the losses, right? And for a lot of people in the, thank you, for a lot of people in the world, they've maxed that. They've maxed the fact that people don't know what's happening behind the smile. They don't know what's happening behind the looks. So, I've been privy to that. Unfortunately, like I was saying maybe a day or two ago, I don't be looking for the shit. The shit just happened in front of my damn door. And I was like, what? I was called like so many things, and I was just trying to figure out who is this character? Where is this character coming from? I don't know this character because the character isn't me, right? And it was funny because the proof walked right in front of me. It sat right in front of me. It acted right in front of me. And all the words that were hurled at me suddenly made sense. I guess it would look better if it was me. But I could laugh wholeheartedly because it wasn't, because I was actually seeing it on the people who wanted to hide it. And it didn't give me an instant like thing to say something. I wasn't big on bragging when I saw it happen because I was like, I've been saved. I dodged a bullet. I didn't have to really say nothing because it's written all over your face. Yeah. You don't have to say a word. Yeah, yeah. It's written all over your face. You don't have to say a word. Hell no. So, oh my goodness, I woke up with a song on my heart this morning. I lied to you not. I was like, don't stop till you get enough. Baby, do your thing. Rock with me. Hey, what's it gonna be? The after party. Yeah. Oh, that's Coffee Brown. That's Coffee Brown. I was trying to find out who that was. I was going through, they kept bringing me up Michael Jackson. And then I had to just go on and sing the lyrics to the dang thing. And then finally, it gave me Coffee Brown. We have a lot of talent that just disappeared. We have a lot of 1 and 2 and 3 hit wonders that just disappeared, and we got all finagled over 10 artists. Has anybody noticed that we only ever get really 10 artists to keep playing over and over again? And then eventually, if you slow down and listen, you don't agree with some of that shit. And the few that actually have staying power, they fade out. And then eventually, Hollywood, I'm going to say weird, Hollywood asks them something. And then they say, you know what? It's time for me to find some shit else to do. Okay. So we do know that I have been mentioning couples and the strategic way that couples are put together. And if you get put with somebody who's like a hole in your bucket, you'll always be working, and they even may give you the satisfaction of looking successful, but energy and resources will always be siphoned through other avenues. And if a person can get you on edge every time, you'll be so distracted that you won't even worry about the fact that you're leaking resources. So shout out to the people who are moving accordingly in their relationships, and they can see the books. They can audit their own relationship. People don't audit their relationships enough, and they don't audit them from the right perspective. A lot of times when you're just going to the money, you don't see the emotion leaking out, and if you're going to the motion, you won't see the money leaking out. So you've got to have sort of a happy medium in everything that you do, or else some stuff's going to slip past you. Okay, so that looks like opening up the mail, taking the time to look at it, and then getting rid of it, right? As soon as possible, shredding it, that sort of thing, right? And not having people around that you can't trust with your things. If you feel away, if you got to go to the bathroom and you feel like you got to swipe the whole table before you go to the bathroom or take your phone, 9 times out of 10, that might not be the person you want to be around. I mean, in business, yeah, that's a great move to take your things with you in business. But I'm talking about in your intimate relationships. Have you been around people that just make you feel like you just can't tell them nothing, or you can't show them nothing, or you can't leave anything on your table? You can't even let them see your call ID. 9 times out of 10, either you need to be removed from the relationship or they need to be removed from the relationship because somebody's got a goddamn secret. I ain't never seen so much secret squirrel in my life, except for when someone has something to hide. Okay? So, good morning, good morning, good morning. This has been an awakening morning cuz like I said, like I on my property, I keep a no trespassing sign and you could see it. And I became convinced when I saw a person just go sit in front of the sign, sit up under the sign and politic with the no trespassing sign under the window. You know, when your windows are there, that's your property, right? Especially when you're not, that's your property, right? So I already established that that's my property. And these people have already said, that they hate me. So why are you on my property, right? So I didn't say anything because I was waiting for, groceries and stuff. And it's pretty hot yesterday. And you don't always want to be the person to call out what's going on, especially when everybody know what's going on. So I had to chill out and get my little happy medium on, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, are they in crayons or painting some shit? Because I got the no trespassing sign like directly over your head. It's in my window. So it's not like I made a place for it. It's in the inside on my window. So if you're sitting there in a chair and you can see that no trespassing sign, you're on my property, right? So she sits there and invites company. And I'm like, okay, cool. These are the same people that are trying to attack me and defame my character every day because they're helping somebody else, right? Because I don't even know why they're so up my ass, right? So I ain't say nothing. But it was funny the activity that I was witnessing because I was like, this man just called me a whore. Does he know that she dresses like me when he's not around and she whores? I didn't say anything. I just watched it because it's all on my camera. I'm like, wow, what the freak? I'm not friends with this guy, so I'm not sending him anything. So I'm just looking like, now I know why he's so upset. Because he's trying to figure out who's the whore. And if she keeps dressing like me, and people keep saying that they see somebody from far away in the vicinity that looks like me doing whorish things, that's how they were trying to get away with it. And then I noticed when I said, oh, so that's how they did that. They put her like right there under me. I seen the thing in a bear, and she looked like a bear one night. And I was like, is that supposed to be a fur? And I was like, you know what? Just chill, because it wasn't a fur. It was a bear thing. So then I started seeing the hair color change the way my hair color was changing. Then I started seeing the style change the way my style was changing. And then I said, Shorty used to be fat. Is that Ozempic or is that whoring? I don't know. So I sat and I observed. And I told you, my mail has been getting stolen. And who else can really, peep your stuff but your neighbors? And then honestly, one of the girls there, they attacked me. So someone's very, very, very invested in this house. I don't know how high up they go. I don't know how low they going. But somebody's doing a lot to get up in here. And it's so weird. Check your local politicians and all that, because a lot of times when somebody's stirring up chaos one place, there's some other stuff happening another place. Okay, so pay attention. Pay attention. Okay, and this book is just that. Okay, so Unto thee will I cry, O Lord my rock, be not silent to me, lest if thou be silent to me, I become like them that go down into the pit. Hear the voice of my supplications when I cry unto thee, when I lift up my hands toward thy holy oracle. Draw me not away with the wicked and with the workers of iniquity, which speak peace to their neighbors, but mischief is in their hearts. Give them according to their deeds and according to the wickedness of their endeavors. Give them after the work of their hands, render to them their desert. Because they regard not the works of the Lord, nor the operation of his hands, he shall destroy them and not build them up. Blessed be the Lord, because he hath heard the voice of my supplications. The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusted in him, and I am helped. Therefore, my heart greatly rejoiceth, and with my song will I praise him. The Lord is their strength, and he is the saving strength of his anointed. Save thy people and bless thine inheritance. Feed them also and lift them up forever. Yay, yay, yay. I also woke with a clip of Nipsey Russell and P. Diddy in the same room. I don't know. That was on my algorithm. I also met Jordan Cisco for the first time. Now, I'm hoping we're not related, but that crash out was not valid. I do not agree with domestic violence, and I hope that poor girl gets help. Like I said, I woke up, my algorithm was like, okay, so I seen Jordan Cisco. Push him to the side. That's Jarvis, okay? Now, we're going to pull back up the Nipsey Hussle and P. Diddy thing. They were in the studio. Lauren London was there. Nipsey was here. He was clapping. He was listening to one of his artists do his thing, right? Diddy sitting there in a chair, making looks and just acting weird. And we noticed that London is far off on the camera behind on the other side of Diddy, and she's on the couch lounging and she's listening too. It's like a listening party. They're all at the studio. However, there was a petty moment. Nipsey was clapping for his artist. Diddy was saying something to the event of, you could stop clapping. He was basically wanting to control the room. This was obviously, I think, Nipsey's studio or Nipsey's thing, and he was taking the lead in the room. However, the way Diddy was acting, he was basically trying to gain attention without asking for attention. He just kept acting erratic, just making faces, leaning over, contorting, things of that nature. And that is most common to a person who doesn't want to say, I want attention. They just glitch out. They usually start small and subtle, and then it usually boils into a point, right? So we know right now mental health is all caps in the world right now. In the world, I'll say, because people have passports, people travel, and people are traumatized. I'm going to take it majority of the world has affected or afflicted each other in some way, form, or fashion, and we all have some form of traumatization. Whether we agree with it, whether we've rated it or not, whether we even pay attention, we all do, because people get triggered. People react without knowing that they're reacting, so we have a lot of that going on, and we need to be a little bit more gentler with each other. I ain't say coddle, because coddling has got us down this damn rabbit hole. Somebody patted up the wrong crybaby. Someone apologized to the wrong asshole. Okay, somebody allowed the suspect more time to speak than the victim. It happens too often. Uh, the person that has been taken advantage of has been blamed. But the person who took advantage never got shamed. So they don't think it's bad. They don't know it's bad because no one's ever said anything. They've always had a bunch of yes men. And sometimes, if a person is willing to bank your stupidity, you'll get yes men. Um, in that situation with Diddy and Nipsey, Nipsey ain't play. He don't care who Diddy was. When Diddy said, "Stop clapping, man," Nipsey said, "Everybody clap." Because really they was having a positive moment. So it really wasn't no reason for him to try to derive from that moment. But the problem is he's an attention whore. And when you've got a person who's never gotten attention, who been left in the crib a lot, not picked up a lot, or dropped off everywhere, or they have abandonment issues, that attention is a problem. That attention is a drug. That attention is equivalent to the baddest addiction, drug addiction you can ever see. Because if this person doesn't get attention, they don't care how they get it, whether it be in a positive or a negative way. So right now, we have a lot of people who have gotten attention to the point where they've gotten addicted to it and that they can't let it go. Right? And that can be harming. It's good when a person can be validated. It's good when somebody's there to give you flowers. It's good when there's somebody there for you to clap. But what if you need to clap every time? You need to clap. That's why they say don't reward things that people are supposed to already be doing. Like when you guys started spending thousands and thousands of dollars on graduations, I was just like, y'all causing problems. You caused problems for the parents that couldn't do it. You caused problems for the parents that wouldn't do it. It's not to say that you can't celebrate your child, but when you are putting all this stuff on social media, some people got to keep up a presence. A lot of you put your kids in a lot of messed up situations by posting all those big events. Let me explain. One, now the child got to keep up the look. And this is why it was important for a lot of you to stop putting that expensive ass hair in your daughter's heads. Bust downs, the Malaysian waves, and that sort of thing. And it's not because you couldn't afford it. It's because if they should ever find themselves in a situation where they can't afford it, what will they do? A lot of you gave them access, but you didn't teach them retention. You didn't teach them how to make their own key. You never taught them how to create a situation or opportunity. They asked and you made a way. Not to say that you were not the steward as a parent, but as a parent, you were supposed to teach the steps. You were supposed to be able to show them how to butter both pieces of bread. And you were supposed to explain the science of why you put this there and that there and why you got to butter it in the first place. A lot of you did your kids a disservice by doing everything for them, coddling them, not telling them the truth, trying to hold on to them beyond the years that they needed to be held on to, trying to protect them from things that they put in place. Sometimes you do have to let the trouble that they caused happen. You have to, because if you always save, how will they know to stop? They'll never get pause if you're always jumping in there. And we have a lot of grown folks that don't know how to be grown, but they like to say they grown. You ain't my mother, you ain't my father, you ain't my mother, you ain't my father, but the hand is out the same. The hand is out the same. They still want to pull up to your table. They still want to use your toilet paper and turn on your light switches. And they start from being entitled kids. They start from being unwatched kids. They start from being abandoned kids. They start from being unlistened to kids. They also start from being kids who watched you lie, steal, cheat, steal, manipulate. I saw all this in one scene yesterday. I opened my door and I seen everything. I seen how a kid could see the mom do a whole bunch of shit and not know how to explain it. I seen a clueless ass father who liked to do a bunch of disrespectful stuff, not knowing that the reason why he's so messed up and nerves so jacked up is because this person who plays innocent is the biggest demon in the world. And the people that he's surrounded by know. It's amazing. So you see, I watched that. And so easily, all of us could be on the other side. Somebody's looking at us, knowing all the back stuff, and you're nonetheless, you have no clue. So you have to watch out for people's karma. Nobody knew that that was going to happen at that time after that interaction with the clapping. But you also have to watch words when you say things to people, because sick, twisted people and demented people, they study and they look for moments to humiliate, and they pick the pettiest things. So you have to be very mindful and watch out. And you can't be prideful. You know what kind of power I felt like I had at that moment? I had the power to surrender. I had the power to surrender all of what I knew, the power that it probably would have had if I would have said something on my mouth. But what power was that? I would have been surrendering myself actually to that person's stuff and that person's woes and that person's issues. I surrender all that. That ain't none of my issue. That ain't none of my problem. Knowing it makes me feel better because now I can understand and I can really look and be like, you're not okay. Now, when this person spits these venomous words, it is not worth it for me to go and say anything because I know you're not okay. Sometimes you can't attack people back because you don't know what they're going through. I ain't saying let them do nothing to you. I'm not saying let them run up. I'm not saying let them roll over you. What I'm saying is some people are really coming at you because they jacked up in life and they don't have no direction. So they're going to come at you full fledged because they can't come at life the way life has came at them. And when they look up and they see you smiling, after life done drop kick them from across the ring, it's like being the first spectator in WWE after you just got clothesline. And you bounced. Like, really? You don't usually be smiling, especially if the spectator's smiling and you just got your shit rocked. You're like, what you smiling for? I gotta go back and fight this guy. So now I realize why a lot of times, even if you minding your business and the person don't know you, a person will try to attack you because they just got life is and then they look over and there you go smiling. Of course they're not going to smile back at you. They hate your smile at that moment. They have nothing to smile about. And this is why I had so much power in my surrender. Yeah, you might have made some things up, but that is not my reality. But yours, your stuff is real. So I take very good pride in being able to surrender that. Yes, I do. I take good pride in the power of me praying and getting out the way. If I ain't got it, I'm good. It'll come eventually. I'm working. I don't need it instantly. I ain't got to go bother nobody and nobody got to bother me. It's called waiting for your turn. I know, I know. Instant loan and what prepay days and all these things, all of these you could get what the chime schemes, all of these get rich schemes then got y'all so microwave. Y'all want results right away. You know what else happens right away? Getting locked up. It's just, fortunately for a lot of you, it's called a process and it's called court and all these other kind of things. And you guys have gotten so goddamn smart for yourselves. You think that the system's going to keep letting you exhaust it before it changes? I mean, we do now have cars that are eventually going to drop you off at the police station. It's already telling when you're going too fast. It's telling when you're not in alignment. It tells when you cross the lanes and stuff like that. So we're coming into a whole different place. So I do suggest you all get into alignment. Yeah. Evil will always be around just as long as good is around. It's just that now we're getting into the thick of it. It's going to be quicker. And now you got to really, really worry about who the leader is going to be going into the future, because right now it's looking like the future is us. And how many bridges will you burn in the next 20 years? A lot of people you're going to wish you were more gentler with. There are a lot of people who you're going to wish you just was cool with. You just chilled and you were able to be a normal human being with. Things are going to change. There's a changing of the guards. Some of the people that got into some of these jobs had no business being in some of these jobs. Some of these people in these higher positions were not certifiable. I'll say. I heard one of these got girls telling a story the other day. She said I think she's saying her sister worked at a national security place, right? And she said that her sister told her without telling her that she did some actual favors to get the job. But her sister, the way the sister told her was like, yeah, I met this guy, and the guy said if I do so and so and so, I can get a job. And she didn't know that the way that her sister had told her the thing, her sister was basically telling her she did it, but she didn't tell her she did it. And a lot of you did it. That's why you explained it the way you did. I don't know who need to hear that, but that's why they explained it the way they did, because they did it. They just needed to know how you was going to react. So they said, this is what you got to do to get it, to see how you was going to respond. You heard what I said? That person is going to come to you and tell you what the requirements are to get the job, but they're going to say it in a way in which you believe that they didn't do anything and that they don't already have the job. Sometimes when people come to you and they give you details, they're waiting for your reaction, not because they're not capable of it and they didn't do it. They just want to know how you're going to react, to see if you're judge them if they tell you that they did it. Mhm. And you got to be weary of the people who are running around selling plasma. You're selling your life force. And you don't know what information is being gathered from this plasma. Sure. We have research, we have stem cell research, we have all these things, of course, but they're taking blood all the time. Me, myself, I've had two children. They take blood. For some weird reason, on the second one, they took more blood than usual. I guess they were trying to figure some stuff out. I won't tell you, but I know. So I stopped them. Actually, I looked up one day when when I finally got my strength to be awake. I looked and I said, "You don't notice they keep coming in here?" Because my ex-husband at the time, I won't speak no more because I may not be gentle. Anyway, my ex-husband at the time, it's like he didn't care. So I had to look and say, or he just wasn't noticing. I was like, "Hey, you're collecting a lot of blood. What the fuck are you doing with this blood? Because I need all my shit." I'm like, I just had a kid. So when I said that, they didn't have me sign any papers. She said, "Okay," and haul assed out the room as if like she was offended. It was as though I slapped her. It was like, yeah, like, no, stop coming in here asking me for blood. What do you want and what are you doing with it? So after I said, "What do you want and what are you doing with it?" she stopped asking me and she stopped coming back. Actually, she stopped coming back, period. Up until then, while she was getting the blood, she kept trying to come and say, "Hey, let me hold the baby." I was like, "No, I don't need you to hold the baby. I'm like, my baby in here. He's eating." That's the first thing I do. I latch on. I get the latch. This in the hospital. We're breastfeeding, okay? I latch. Kudos to the ladies who do it, and kudos to the ladies who can't, because everybody can't do it. It is a commitment. But yeah, for the both that them kids, yeah. So eventually she stopped coming to the room. She didn't even want to help me with my baby after I told her she can't handle more no more juice. So that was interesting. But yeah, so pay attention to how people react when you react, because a lot of times people are not asking you questions because they don't know the answers. They're asking you questions because they want to see your reaction. They want to see what other question they can ask you. They want to see if they can get you to do certain things. So some people are running around you and they're just testing the waters. They're trying. And some people are, you're impenetrable. And some people have been able to get some things past you. So you might want to go back and look. Like I said, take audits. My chair keeps sinking for some reason. I hate being that short. Bless you. I thought I heard him sneeze. So here's what I got from the book, right? Because I told you from, hold up, forgot. Peach McIntyre. Boom, that was another person. Because I told you, I seen Jordan Cisco, I seen Nato, I seen Nipsey, and then I seen Diddy, and then I seen Peach McIntyre. How's y'all doing over there? Peach a mess, ain't she? I don't know the lady and I can't follow her because I can't take too much of all that confusion. But what I do know is this lady is the perfect example of a person looking at a blessing in her face and draining it. Like, this person is actively in a great momentum, but she don't understand that she's destroying it. And it is one thing to get famous and to be noticeable and to gain momentum like that. But it's a whole nother to that's the scar you put on the earth. Oh, sure, you'll be remembered. Sure, you're a household name. But it's starting to change. Well, actually, it's not starting to change to me. It's starting to change to the people who I guess were following her from the beginning, because when I met her in chaos. The reason why I went over to look is because it was a back and forth with her and Tia Kemp with the wigs, with the wig installs. They were getting people to pay them to do their hair. And that was interesting. I'm not going to knock nobody hustle. If you could get somebody to pay you to do their hair. I know the stars have been doing it, here and there for, advertising, but most of the time they end up going back and paying to get their hair done because, yeah, they liked it. But these women actually were going toe to toe on getting people to pay them to do the work on them. And this work is not, they're not getting like little slap jobs. They're getting like real professional jobs done. So that's how I met Peach. And it's crazy how she got the following that she got. And then she kind of messed it up, kind of being, karmic, being very, very karmic-y. And to see the blessing and the lesson happen at the same time, maybe she'll catch herself. I don't know. I don't know. But that's going to definitely need a rebranding after some time. There's a karmic here that's trying to tap in, but she can't. You got bigger fish to fry, baby, or wash. Okay. Yeah. So back to this book and what I was talking about as far as it being part of the read. The book, my dear, I caught in the book where there were the judges that I was talking about having that little makeshift court case. Right. So that's something that's happening right now. There are people that are having hidden court sessions. There are court sessions going on in this world that we do not know about. There are trials that are being had in this world that we do not know about. And some of you are being tried and some of you are guilty and nobody asked you a damn thing. Some people need you to be guilty, so they put you on their own court. They took you to their own judges. They wielded your name, they wielded your picture, and they all deemed you guilty. Why? Not because you're guilty, but because they're not innocent and they need a fall guy. A lot of people need a scapegoat. They need somebody to point the finger to when they don't feel so great about it and when they can't hold accountability. So there's somebody doing that. So something else I read in here. These guys were basically, they used their jobs. They all three got jobs in the library. So there's a situation in where there were people who orchestrated a lot of things, but they all needed to have certain positions in certain institutions. That's the Hierophant group that I be talking about. They all needed to be positioned in certain places in order to get certain things done. Court clerks, judges, right? Lawyers, paralegals, right? Excuse me. Nurses, assistants, or secretaries, right? A CO. Hold up. I think I wrote that down. A CO and a prisoner. So a CO and a DL man, that's the best way for them to get to the boyfriend in prison and move things around. So that's why a lot of times people are asking for pictures in prison. A lot of times someone has asked for somebody. They pay for these pictures. And the work that's being done is the person who paid for the picture takes the person's identity and starts writing, pen paling people with the person's identity. In the case of the book, because now I'm writing and I'm going back to this book. Look, they take the person's identity after they pay for the picture. They pay for the person's details too. They dox the person in such a way. After they get the ID, the picture, they get the name, they get the health status, they get all of the demographics of the person. Now, this is a person in prison because there's a lot of people in prison that are pen pals, and that's all they got all do today. That's all they got all day to do is write. Somebody don't want me to say this because this is the part. So the best way to get multi-state is not just by car, not by plane, not by motorcycle, as I thought, even though most bikers associations have associations, loose or close associations with a lot of ex-cons. A lot of them end up going to jail once they join these associations because they become so emboldened by their network. Some start to take on different responsibilities in the group, be it legal or not. In this situation, we have 3 ex men of honor who decided to do things in a not so upstanding way, and they ended up in a long-term prison, in which this case in the book, thank you, Mr. Grisham, is Trumbull. Trumbull is a mid-max security place for the elite criminal, so to speak. If you were of high status and you needed a soft place to land and do hard time, this is the place you go. In our reality, we usually call that the feds, right? So, in this situation, these guys were writing these letters for in forms of payment. So, here's one way to see these letters, these pen pal letters. The pen pals is a job. And depending on who the person is writing and who the person is posing as, it is a job. Also, on the other side, if the subject in the letter is using the person who they're sending the letter to for extortion, that's also another situation. So in this part, they were writing fiction and then they were writing sob stories in hopes of pulling money from the people who they were targeting, right? And eventually this turned into another situation. So these people of high honor had different networks and they saw someone that they had been in law school with about to get a position that either none of them were able to get. None of them would ever be the president. However, they saw a very big opportunity in knowing this person. And it's not that the person was guilty of anything, it's just by way of knowing this person and knowing what they were destined for, they could cause chaos and extort money from that situation. Because what they planned to do was implant people into his situation to bring down his uprise. Oh, this resonates with somebody. So people were planning to bring down someone's uprise. Sabotage, you built an entourage. The information pod, I see through the facade. One day you came into my life. You had me going, you really had me going. You trained your dreams to dim my light. You had me going, you really had me going. I was so deep in love with all the thrall of it. I didn't don a glove, but then you threw a fit. I wasn't ready for a fight. You took off first, I took a flight. You never do apologize. We always hurt like through the night. You wanna show, but I'm too shy. I hide my face, creates an alibi. Sabotage, you built an entourage. The information pod, I see through the facade. So that song I wrote some time ago, maybe about a couple of months ago. But the thing about it is, most of my songs subconsciously give me the details of what's going on. Sugar Daddies USA. That's all I can say. Because I'm still reading the book. I'm still reading the book. But just know that there's a lot of things going on in our face. They look good. It's not good. It's a lot of bad things going on. And sometimes your dollar makes them holler. They need us to be numb, dumb, so the elites can... And that's all I'll say about that. So here's Thursday's reading. And please be careful of extremists. Extremists have to keep your nerves on edge both ways. They have to either keep your nerves on edge on being good, or they have to keep your nerves on edge on focusing on the bad. Find yourself a happy medium and reserve your energy. This is another way to siphon energy is by having you always in an upheaval. If you're always in an upheaval, you won't have pause and you won't give yourself time enough to think, and you may end up making a few mistakes. Remember, you're not clumsy, you're rushing. You're not clumsy, you're not thinking about your thoughts. You're not picking up your feet as high. You're not clumsy, someone's trying to trip you up. Right. Nine of Cups, King of Swords, wish come true, contentment, satisfaction, emotional stability, luxury, gratitude. Head over heart, discipline, truthful, honest, mental clarity, authority. We have Pisces, we have Taurus, and we have Gemini. There's a yes, and then there's a maybe. The only one that's on here is a nine. Someone is doing sympathy, exclusion spells, and shut up spells. Someone is also manifesting a fresh start. Don't think they're gonna get it. I see the King of Swords, which means that there's going to be a head over heart decision about everything going forward, financially, emotionally, and everything around the board. Okay, so yeah, looks like somebody's going to have to hold on to that heartfelt confession. It probably was not genuine anyway, so yeah. Sucks to be you. Uh-huh. Mm-mm-mm. So yeah, that's that. Where's my other lippy thing? And yeah, there's a rat that's trying to siphon out all of the resources before anybody gets a hold of it. So somebody's like at their last wits. They're kind of glitching out. It's manic. Someone's going manic. Someone should take their bipolar medicine and actually go seek actual professional help. I think it's a man and a woman. There is a lot more mental health issues than people put on. A lot of people mask it by drinking and taking non-prescription drugs and illicit drugs and things of that nature. But if you do actually have a real diagnosis, yes, you do need to call on Jesus. But right after you call on Jesus, you need to be calling your doctor, your social worker, your psychiatrist. You need to call somebody. You need your people around you. You need someone who you could trust. Sometimes you might have to just call the person who cares about you, and you might not be able to trust them, but just be able to just find some comfort in being quiet. You can't be alone, because you don't need anybody who's going to allow you to crash out. You don't need anybody that's going to allow you to go out and hurt yourself or hurt somebody. You need somebody who's actually strong enough to stop you, who's strong enough to say, you know what? No, I can't let you do this. I can't let you hurt your life. I can't let you, put yourself in bad trouble, things of that nature. If a person isn't able to support you in that situation and keep you out of trouble, is that your friend? Is that your friend? Or did they take some kind of happiness and solace from you being carted away to jail? Because a real friend would stop you from putting yourself in situations, right? Just like a parent would think about their child before they did certain things in front of their child. They would try to respect their child and the future of their child. You know what I'm saying? Or how can you say you love this and you love that, but you put it at risk every time? Someone says hi to you, you're there. Someone says, hey, beautiful, you're over there. You understand? Like, stop being so accepting to things that you shouldn't accept. Because sometimes you can occupy yourself with that and you'll miss your blessing. Because, hey, say if somebody was coming to give you a 3-day cold Sprite and you've been outside all day, and somebody keep giving you Shastas. Yeah, you got water. Somebody giving you Shastas. But then somebody coming down the street with a 3-day Sprite. And they wanted to give it to you. And they know you like Sprite. And the person who feeding you these Shastas know you like Sprite too. But they can't afford no Sprite. They give you Shastas. And they see the person coming down the street with this Sprite, and they see the thing, the sweat glistening off the bottle. Because they can't afford to give you no Sprite. One, they're going to say, you want too much. You're expensive. Why you always got to have name brand stuff? And then the person with the Sprite come. And because you allowed somebody else with less than what you already was supposed to get into your head and make you feel as though you don't need those things, even though this is what you want, this is what you've been about since before you met them, but you let them get in your head and make you drink Shastas. And then them Shastas not even cold. Then you let them get in your head until you don't even like name brand stuff. So now this person saved up their money. They went and they put the Sprite in the freezer for 3 days. They knew exactly how to do it. They knew the formula, baby. And they knew that you like Sprite. They coming to give it to you. But because you done let somebody talk you out your spot. You let somebody talk you out your spot. Not only are you going to keep sitting there drinking lukewarm Shastas, because that person that didn't want you to have that Sprite and couldn't afford it, they gonna snatch it out that other person's hand and throw it, and now nobody can have it, because that's how much they just didn't want you to have it. They don't want you to have it. They don't want to take it, and they really just wanted to make sure that the person who bought you a Sprite saw you as ungrateful and saw you as slow and saw you accepting less. So now they ain't gonna never save up and buy your ass a Sprite again. Cause yo, you just let this chump. And then you hesitated to take it. You let me see you as willing to accept less than. And it's okay. Sometimes you gotta let that opportunity pass, because at this point, even though the person was wrong for talking you out of things, you were wrong for accepting. And sometimes we have to be accountable for what we accepted. It's hard. It's hard to be wrong, especially when you felt like you was right the whole time. Doesn't make you evidently wrong. It just means that you had a moment, a lesson, a teaching moment. You had a moment in your life where you accepted less than what you should have gotten. And unfortunately, the wrong person saw you accept less. That doesn't mean that they could be the right person, because, hey, if they're a right person, they might, hold on until you get your head better or get you stronger. Sometimes the person who bought you the Sprite might beat that person up for disrespecting you. And you would hope that you could meet a person like that would be like, you know what? I'm not going to have you disrespect my peoples and give them less than what I wanted them to have, because that's your peoples. The peoples who's going to make sure you get what you're supposed to have. Those are the people you need in your life. A lot of us just settle for the people, not really realizing, talking about, I'm not trying to make a big fuss. Why? Are you not okay? You don't feel good about yourself that you're going to make sure that you get what you're supposed to get? If I know I come from a house where we do Sprite, and I don't get me wrong, sometimes if you need something to drink, you might accept that Shasta, but as soon as I see that Sprite, I'll be like, you know what? That was good. That was a nice sip, but I'm gonna go where I belong. And you have to be strong enough and confident enough to keep going where you belong. And sometimes you went places and it looked okay where you were. But when you realized that wasn't where you were supposed to be, that was your opportunity to get up and go. And a lot of us has missed the opportunity to get up and go. And a lot of people have missed a lot of opportunities to get up and go. And eventually that get up and go turned into complacency. And sometimes that complacency turn into straight up rot. That person will get angry. And now everybody who they ever see with an opportunity come next to them, they either destroy it or try to take it for their own. So be careful of the opportunities you miss. Be careful. Be careful of accepting less than from the first place, because some people won't let you come back from that. Say you started off young, you knew no better, right? And you was okay with it, even though you knew it wasn't the perfect spot. It just was better than where you were. Because some people don't like to tell you why they doing what they doing and how. And some people never ask. They just make up their own reasons. Hmm. Why would a so-called what? I guess well-to-do person start slumming? Well, a lot of times they won't tell you that that well-to-do person started slumming because where they were not loved, they were not given, they were treated badly. Things were happening that they didn't like, that were out of control, so they went to another space to get accepted. This is why you see some of these people leave these highfalutin tootin counties. You see girls leave, they supposed to have a good live in a mansion with their family and stuff, and it looks good on camera. And you trying to figure out how little Amanda in the hood walking around with Freddie getting high all day. How can that be better than living in the Hamptons? You don't know what Lil Manda mother do. You don't know what Lil Manda father do. Her uncles. You don't know what her old sick ass entitled brother does to her, which she wakes up and sees. You understand? So a lot of times we write off people and we never get to know their story. You understand? Some people were always on the up and up. And they eventually they ran into somebody who didn't like that and decided that they wanted to humble them or knock them down. And because you never asked the question and you don't know the person's story, you went along with the narrative and you helped to knock a perfectly fine person off their rocker. And you wondering why you keep getting things and you can't hold on and maintain them, is because the karma is you can't hold on to anything great because you caused someone to let go of all theirs. Oh, I ain't say you was never gonna see it. Oh, I ain't never say you was never gonna touch it. You just can't have it. You can't retain it. The same way they had a future and you didn't allow them to attain it, you didn't allow them to get to their future because you helped to play God in their life. Oh, you don't get no easy wins. You get to lose too. Probably more, because had you not even did that, you probably could have found a way to win together. A lot of people find that out at the end. You ain't even had to do all that. And that's the blessing in that lesson. You didn't have to do all that. So 9 was the only thing that was out there, and that is by way of either divination or manifestation. When I say divination, that means someone's trying to control an outcome that they shouldn't have their hand in. And when I say manifestation, that means someone is attracting. They're just praying and putting themselves in alignment so that when the Lord come down with that blessing, they can say thank you. And they don't got to apologize to him, who, her, he, and her, whatever, and how. You understand? You don't have to do that. That's by way of manifestation. Divination is to try to control and manipulate, whether it be by science, whether it be by spirit, whether it be by your raggedy self writing a letter, whether it be by you gang stalking, whether you making a fake account, whether you making a fake bank account, whether you messing with somebody's mail, whether you messing with somebody's groceries, somebody's drinks, that is divination. That is divination, trying to pull the wool over somebody's eyes for no reason. Cashing tricks and illusion, telling people that you did something and you didn't do it, saying that I mailed a letter and you never mailed the letter, but then putting it in the system that the letter was mailed. That is a blatant lie, court clerk, judge, chambers, state bar. That is a lie. When you tell someone that they have received a communication and you never send it out. That is a lie when you tell somebody that you sent out the communication and you rerouted the address so that you made sure that they didn't get it in a timely manner. That is a lie. That is obstruction of justice by way of the system from the inside. Yes, that is a lie. That is a lie to lay down with your partner and use their job to pull your bullshit. Yes, that is a lie. It is a lie to be able to go to the DMV and mess up everybody's driving records because you don't have a good driving record and you need a favor. That is a lie. It is a lie to get somebody else's ID so that you can function in life, not knowing what you taking away from their life. It is a lie. It is a lie to use somebody's credit privacy number to gain things in your life when that person need that same shit. It is a lie. A lot of people will be found out. There will be a changing of the guards. If Mr. Grisham can write a book like this with all this in it, trust me, as a writer myself, this ain't come from nowhere. Everything in this universe materializes. Page of Cups. 7, long-term view. All cutthroat. Ain't no emotions on these boards. It's only cups. It's a fishy offer. Long-term view, hard work, perseverance, diligence, sustainable results, investments. King of Pentacles, wealth, business, leadership, security, discipline, abundance, prosperity, generosity. Excuse me, we got Taurus out here. Taurus, Leo, Virgo. It's a fishy offer. Somebody moving money, funny with the money. Somebody moving funny with the money, and it's a lot of manipulation going on. Someone is trying to have a long-term view, and they're trying to persevere, and they're trying to invest in results. So somebody made a bad investment, and it's a no. But the person with the wealth and the business and the leadership, they're going to definitely need security, okay? They're definitely going to need some discipline. But I don't know about the generosity. So a fish can mean two different things. A fish can mean a fishy offer, or it can also mean highly intuitive, because that is the Pisces too. Soul is defeat, as above, so below. Water, earth, 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 earth. I see earth all over the place. So this is very grounded energy. Not a lot of emotions, as I said. Very intuitive. Not a lot of emotions. So right now, a lot of people are holding on to their hearts as they try to navigate, because they do see where by wearing their heart on their sleeves, they have allowed some things. They have allowed some things to slip by. So there's a King of Pentacles that's right now. Oh, somebody's taking my advice. Somebody's auditing. Somebody's actually taking my advice. They're going over the fine print of things. So I see divine, and I see divine death and transformation. Okay, so yeah, someone is manipulating something, but someone is also going through a death and transformation. They are dying as they see things at the time, and they're coming back to a different world of information. And as they open their eyes, someone's going to actually wake up and see that they are actually sleeping with the enemy, or at least in bed with the enemy. Probably not physically in bed with the enemies, but they shaking hands with the enemies, or they reside in the same place as the enemy. You're surrounded by the enemy, and the only one that knows that knows that they're the enemies are the enemies. You think that they're friends. See this person here? They look a little slumped. They look defeated. They look tired. They look tired of studying the pinnacles. They do. Their tunic looks a little droopy too. It's like sweaty. It's hot outside. But there's a King of Pentacles that said no, keep digging. Okay, so yeah, you are surrounded by enemies. You've got one person on the side of you creating all sorts of opportunities. So you might be the one focused on being the breadwinner, but these people are focused on themselves. This person is creating an opportunity for themselves. So there's a person, looks feminine, could not be. Looks like she's short. Yeah. Um, this person is creating opportunities on one side of you. You focus thinking you keeping everybody happy. This person is pimping the hell out of you, and you don't know because they tell you all these things are your ideas. So it's somebody working very hard, and they're the only ones working while everybody else is kicking back with their feet up. So no wonder you're angry at the world. You're working for everybody else, and nobody is working for you. So they really just keep you going by giving you a bunch of crap to do, or giving you things to think about as soon as you get there. Because if you should ever get some rest and actually open your eyes, you will notice that all the people in your crew ain't for you. You are the only one really not benefiting from being surrounded by these people. Everybody is benefiting from being surrounded by you. If the person got a house, if a person got a house, you pay the bills. If this King of Pentacles is in the house with you, you do more of the lead work. It's something like that. Like you a whole flunky in your situation, but you swear you a king. You think you're this person. You are this person. You probably don't even notice that you are not the king of your own home. I bet you a lot of other people do. You the only one don't know it. That is Taurus, Leo, Virgo. Take what resonates. Sun, moon, rising. Taurus, Leo, Virgo. But I swear this looks like some Pisces crap going over here. So take what resonates. Pisces, Taurus, Leo, Virgo. What numbers I had? Just the 7. 7 is a complete cycle. Somebody's going to look and see it. I'm not doing this again. I'm sorry. I'm not listening to frequency music while I'm doing this again, okay? Because I'm doing 3 things at the same time. And I usually only do 2. Death and transformation, like I said. Yeah. Page of Pentacles. Someone's not getting any sleep. Okay, so someone's thinking about this Page of Pentacles and they're not getting any sleep. Okay? No sleep. Anxiety. Gemini energy. I got Scorpio, Gemini. Scorpio, Gemini, I've got a 9. That's 22. 22 is one of my numbers. One of my syncs. Endings, beginnings, change, transformation, metamorphosis, end of cycle. Scorpio, 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 you desert crab, you. All right, so somebody's not very, very intuitive. They're not thinking. They're more in their passion. They're more in their fiery ways. A Scorpio, I look at a Scorpio as a fire water sign because it's not a lot of water in the desert. I'm just trying to tell you. But a Scorpio is an anthropod or whatever. It's a shellfish without being a fish. So death and transformation. Page of Pentacles. The Scorpio was the death and transformation, which turns into a 4 either way. And either way, it's going to turn into a 4 because 9 plus 13 is 22. So it's still going to turn into a 4. So someone actually is going through a lot of childhood drama. Childhood trauma is reenacting in this person's life. Manifestation, financial opportunity. From a very young child, all they knew is that they wanted a nice, healthy family and a nice, healthy love, and they wanted some money. They got the family. They might have gotten to a little bit of money, but the love and shit, they didn't get it. They didn't get what they thought that they were getting. They didn't get the picture that they drew in their mind. And that can be very disappointing. Trust me, I've been there. But you can get over it. These things will, they come, but they won't last forever, okay? You're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. It's a Scorpio, Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising. Take what resonates. There's two no's and there's only one yes at the Pentacles. So you may get a little bit of leeway as far as career wise, as far as those type of opportunities, but love wise, you may want to sit a few things out, especially if you're going through something and you just went through a major breakup. This is going to cause you a lot of anxiety, fear, worry, depression, insomnia, hopelessness, trauma, despair. You're always going to be replaying it in your mind, right? The things that the betrayal that you're probably starting to see, right? So just take your time. I wouldn't rush into another relationship because rebound is a thing, and once you heal, your eyes change, your palette changes, okay? Healing changes things, and if you take enough time to heal, your options get better. When you don't take enough time to heal, you meet the same mistakes in different bodies. You might even meet a better mistake, but it's still going to be a mistake. That's why it's very important to take time to heal. There is no real time limit on heals. Some people are able to heal in a couple of months. Some people are able to heal in a year. Some people need to take a lot longer. But what I'm saying is, don't be so quick to put your heart in another situation. Your heart has to heal. Your communication has to heal. You don't want to take the same problems. You don't want to take the same baggage. And you also don't want to keep making issues everywhere you go. The worst thing you can hear nowadays as an adult is I was a foster guy or I was a foster girlfriend. When I say that, every man you get, you got to move in with them. Every woman you get, you got to move in with them. And every time it end, you got to pack your shit and go. And every time it's a breakup, you got to pack your shit and go because it's never your home. Well, if you took time to heal, you find yourself and you love yourself enough to provide yourself your own place. Because a person that loves themselves don't want to keep getting told to go. They don't want to get put out. They don't want to put their name on a lease and be forced to split up. I mean, it is the goal to put both names on the lease at some point in time during marriage once you get a real good contract, because even boyfriends and girlfriends break up, husbands and wives break up, but the contract makes it clear and it puts certain things in place so that you can protect your things. But if you want to be moving in and out with every girlfriend and every boyfriend, just know that you're susceptible to a lot of things. You're susceptible to leaving things. You're susceptible to a reputation for being a vagabond or a gypsy or a foster, whichever term makes you feel good. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get into that. And some people, they like to see that sort of thing. They like to see that sort of thing. They like to have, your business in their mouths and stuff like that. So you can cut down a lot of stuff, a lot of talk, if you just try to love yourself more to the point where you see yourself on the outside looking in before somebody else does. For instance, if you can smell you a little bit, somebody can smell you a lot. That's the same way as I look at the kids when they play hide and go seek. And because you're not playing the game, you saw where all the kids went. You understand? So there's some oversight there. And sometimes you want to try to be your own oversight because it's a little embarrassing. It's a little stinging when somebody has to come and like poke you back in place like, hey, I seen you there. And if you got a good support system, it's not embarrassing at all. You can embrace the criticism. And a lot of people can't embrace the criticism because the criticism has been weaponized so much. And it's horrible when the criticism goes to the ops before it even comes to the person who the criticism was meant for. How can you call that tough love when you didn't love me enough to just say it to me? That wasn't love, going and discussing all my stuff everywhere before you brought it to me. And it's crazy because the worst backgrounds are the main ones who are talking about other people's business. Because if you were to talk their stuff, oh boy, oh boy, they try to take you to court, but unfortunately, it be true. Hoo ha, pop pop pop, Johnny Bravo. So yeah, so pay attention. This person is, unfortunately, don't tell me shut up. Live your life. Oh, and if you're getting that paper, just live your life. Hey, oh. Sounds like a nice offer, but I'm not ready yet. I'm really not ready yet. I've got a lot of work to do yet. Ha. Meet you guys at the top. So, ooh. Queen of Swords just popped out. Unbiased judgment, independent, clear boundaries, direct communication, clear minded, perceptive. I don't think this was for me. Thank you. I think this was just to confirm what I had just said. It's not that I am not open to love, it's just that I want to take my time with it. I appreciate it a lot more now than I did then. So the things that I thought that I loved, I just liked really, really good. I liked them. I liked it a lot. Just not enough to be there. So I have to take my time. Okay. Okay. So let's get a next spread. Oh, the lovers came out. See? So there is hope. 6 and 3. Hmm. 9, divination. Somebody doing a love spell on me. Well, that's cute, certainly, but it won't work. So we see the lovers. Love, harmony, relationships, union, partnership, sexuality, passion, values, alignment, deep love, a choice, the strength of two together. Beautiful. And then we've got universe. Sometimes I think the universe be having me tapped too. All right. Preparation, progress, foresight, enterprise, expansion, overseas opportunity. See, it's like it's telling you exactly what's in my mind. And I just said it. So there's prep and we're in Aries season, of course, what I've been saying the whole time. So Gemini, Aries, and then we've got judgment right after this beautiful little card right afterward, right? Judgment, rebirth, inner calling, a new phase, absolution, reckoning, awakening, redemption, forgiveness, mercy. Whoa. Whoa. This was so in alignment with what I just said. This is kooky. So we've got 29, and this puts us at 11. And what we know about 11, master number 11, is the highly intuitive master. Okay, so right now, this is basically what's going on. If you're a Gemini Aries, let me see what this judgment thing majiggy diggy is, because I just seen this pinky book. Here it is. The judgment. I always like to make sure I know what that symbol is, because sometimes it looks like a little guy with a vampire collar on. I'm talking about this person. I just want to know what the character is. I like to be sure. Does it even tell you what the daggone symbol is? It doesn't. Okay, or whatever. Equity, rightness, probity, executive. Equity, rightness, probity, executive. Decisions. But this is judgment. There it is. Change of position. I just said that. Renewal. Cool. Changing of the guards. Renewal. Yay. So that was confirmation of what I just said before I even pulled the cards. Do I even need the cards today? I'll use the cards for my friends so they know what I'm talking about. Because I don't need the cards today. Yesterday I got the announcement that I didn't need the cards. I really don't need the cards, but I have to use the cards for my friends because they have to understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so we've got childhood and we've got battled wounded warrior, and then we've got challenge, we've got ye. So we've got the 4 of wands, we've got the 9 of wands, and we've got the 7 of wands. All we have are wands. So we have a lot of manipulation, a lot of maneuvering, a lot of strategizing. Excuse me, that was huge. That's 13 plus 7. That's 20. That's 2. So there's a balancing of polarities coming out. A lot of childhood wounds, a lot of childhood dramas, traumatization, things of that nature are basically coming exposed. People are talking now. People are doing more communication, and this is actually grounding the foundation for the Aries. So right now, as we go through these changes in our mental and our emotional health, which a lot of us are, we're starting to be aware of how our childhood, we've survived it. By the skin of our teeth, a lot of us, we have survived it, but now we are prepared for the challenge of going forward. And this is positive, good movement. Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, 497. Don't know. Might be significant to someone else. 49, 94, 97, 79. This is all coming to a 2 because 4 plus 9 is 13. 13 plus 7 is 20. That goes to the 2, which is balancing polarities. Hope this helps. Dinner last night was so goddamn good. It was so good, but it was hot. It's something about a hot plate. I'm going to need to get some salad to put with that so I can eat it like a little halal thing. So I have my chicken and my rice, and then I've got the cool stuff on the side because the plate was just as hot. We definitely going to eat some salads today. I don't like hot food when it's hot like that, but it's so good. It was like so good. I wanted something, and Alex loves rice, so sometimes I just have to cook the rice. I love rice too, so I can't blame it all on him. All right, next spread. King of Cups, 5 of wands, and the High Priestess is out here. We got a 52. Someone's 52 since the age of 25 or since the year 25. So since last year. Aries, Pisces, Leo, intuition, all of you have been gathering together to do what? Because all 3 of these signs that I'm thinking of that just popped up in my head when that just played out like that, they're all idiots. Anyway, that's just from me. Anyway, so King of Cups, emotionally balanced, compassion, diplomatic, control, balanced, supportive leader, tolerance, empathetic. And that's supposed to be the King of Cups. So either you are in your masculine or your divine feminine. You are emotionally balanced, compassion. You actually are cool. You're sitting up in your throne and you're cool. You're ready for whatever comes. You're ready for an offer. You're even ready to go to war if that's what people bringing to you. But you're sitting up. Your shoulders are straight, and you're ready for what the world brings you. However, there's a 5. There's a 5 in Leo. There's 5 of wands, competition, rivalry, conflict, disagreement, strife, tension. So you may have to come to an agreement. And the High Priestess, intuitive, sacredly, You know that you're going to have to make a decision sooner or later, but you're also going to have to stand on it. You're going to have to stand 10 toes down, and you're actually going to have to be able to navigate a bit of conflict as you go forward. So, this is for The Aquarius, Pisces, Leo, High Priestess, doesn't matter which sign, Sun, Moon, Rising, as long as it resonates, take it. Because the two is the balancing of opposites. The five is instability, exaggeration, overexertion, strife, changes, freedom, and loss. Someone's going to lose. Someone's going to not be okay with your decisions, but you're going to have to be okay with what you said. You're going to have to stand on it, and you're going to have to make sure you don't let anybody talk you off of it. Okay? Don't give no sympathy where no sympathy need to be. Don't go pulling on your own heartstrings. Yeah, sometimes it's not other people pulling on your own heartstrings. It is you. Because you feel as though you have to hear an unnecessary argument or you have to hear an unnecessary excuse. Yet, you already had made your decision, but you given a person the time to talk you out of it. This is why I don't suggest that. Once you make your decision, execute it like a band-aid being ripped off and keep it pushing. I'm not saying that it will not hurt you. I'm not saying that it will not cause you a little bit of strife, but I would rather have a little bit of strife than a whole conundrum to deal with because I could not stand on business. Trust me, if you do not stand on business in the small parts of your life, you will not be able to handle any business in the big parts of your life. So, in the great words of Uncle Donnie, you are fired. That was a funny show when it came out. I never knew he was going to be the president for this long. Anywho, so going forward, there's a 7, which is another complete. That's a 7 and a 7 and a whole bunch of damn 7s. 7 and 9. 7 and 9. Somebody born in 79 or 97. 79 or 97. So there's from the ages of 20 something, probably, yeah, from the ages of 23, 24. Dang, y'all real old. Y'all really old out here, raggedy. You know what? I don't know why I'm surprised. I don't ask the people age. It's just that they be out there. And I'd be like looking like, y'all be people grandparents. Y'all be real people grandparents. For real. Like, this is why these kids don't have no grandparents' house to go hangover. Because y'all in the middle of the streets buying from their friends. Anyway, I don't know where I went for that. So, yeah, that's what that was. Oh, yeah, that's what that was. So somebody's going to have to stand on business wherever they live, wherever they at. I think the environment, it's like people from a wide range of ages, and they're all not living the right way. And by way of them not living the right way, it's very, very detrimental to your health because it's going to draw on your energy when you're the only one who's trying. And it's not to say that you think that you're this or that or anything. It's just that it's a reality. If you're the only one that's trying, all your efforts are gone for nil because everybody else is stifling your efforts. You can only try but so much before you have to just say, you know what, and give it up. Sometimes you just got to go on surrender and go to where you're going to retain your energy. It's not for you to fight an endless battle. Remember, you are not a martyr. If your efforts are being stifled out, pick your shit up and go somewhere else. Trust me, this resonates because I'm done. I'm done. When you realize that the pigs like the dirt, you stop fighting with the damn pigs. All right. Next spread. I got Virgo, 9. Wish fulfillment, Pisces. Capricorn, 2. Okay, I got 19 plus 2. 20, 21. 3. Go to God. You can't trust no man on this earth. You can't even trust yourself. Sometimes you tell yourself you're going to do something and then you don't. You can trust no man on this earth. That's why you have to trust in God and trust in the God in you. And once you trust in the God in you, then maybe you might come through and you can pray about it, or you can forgive, or you can atone. But it's always the God in you that's going to make sure that you look out for yourself. So 9, 10, 2, fruits of labor, rewards, luxury, self-sufficiency, financial independence, divine love, harmony, blissful relationships, alignment, inner happiness, fulfillment, dreams come true, family contentment, total love and support, multiple priorities, time management, adaptability, balancing decisions. There is a balancing of the polarities happening by way of the creator, by way of prayer, by way of manifestation. And at the same time as we are balancing out the polarities, the devil wants to be paid. So whoever decided that they were going to jump on that bandwagon, and whoever decided that they were going to sell souls, whoever decided that they were going to do the thing that they were not supposed to do, hey, pay up. All right. For all of us that are debt free, or that are debt free, come with me. Let's go. Don't let nobody play in your face. They know who they are. Third party. Third party doesn't have to be a person. Third party can be a place or a thing. Could be a drink, could be a bar, could be a hobby that happens too often, could be the place damn station. I saw that shit with Jordan Cisco and I was very pissed off at his last name. I was so pissed off at his last name because he acted like a whole orangutan and then had the girl get on the camera and say he didn't hit her, when clearly to me now, I'm gonna say to me because I'm not this man's lawyer, whatever. To me, he tried to make her apologize quickly before that shiner started shining. But the issue is the lady is milk made cream. You could see the little indentation right there. You could see the little mark forming. You could also see where he clipped on her lip too. And this is what I mean by some people know what they have done. They have not atoned for it. You can't even tell them that they're wrong. I was so upset with that. It was upsetting because the girl got on the camera and said he didn't do it. And she was apologizing when he clearly did something, even if he didn't hit her. The fact that he was being that way around her with a whole baby in her belly, that could affect that kid. The environment that you're in, even before you pass into the other side of the earth. Come on, man. You could do better than that. And it has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with that damn last name. I don't want to be associated with nobody who gonna do that like that. And yes, he is on the Caucasian side, something that a lot of people don't know about. One side of my family, well, both sides of my family are mixed with a lot of stuff. It's just that one side of my family is Caucasian. I suppose that Indian, they say Indian, I say Mexican. It might be the same. But I know it's white, Indian, West Indian, and African American. African and America. It's all that. So when I saw him acting a fool, I'm like, I know that ain't my cousin acting stupid. I was so mad with him. And then Nick's comes out. My own car comes out. God bless the child who's got her own. That's what I named that card. God bless the child that's got their own. Because, hey, at the end of the day, sometimes it ain't about what you're sharing with people. It ain't about what you can get other people to do. Sometimes it's about you. and what you've done and how you've been able to just navigate this thing on this earth, because it's not easy. And a lot of people, unbeknownst to everybody who wants to ignore everybody else, are doing the same walk, are having the same problems, are having the same issues, having to walk past the same trials. But the thing that makes the big difference is we're all making different choices. We all are getting different options. We come across the same opportunities, but we don't all have the same choices. We don't have the same options. And we need to be okay and also register it. So, yes, God bless the child that's got his own. We don't hear that a lot anymore. That used to be a big common mantra. At the end of the day, you just wanted to have your own. Not everybody else's, just your own. And a lot of people have gotten away from that. They really just put it down to, I got my own this, I got my own that. What they said is your own is your own. You. Do you have you? Or you always got to have somebody to have you? Now that's a flex if you got you. I'm not talking monetarily. I'm talking wholeheartedly, emotionally, mentally. Do you have you? If you saw yourself slipping, would you be able to save you, or would you need somebody to knock and come in and get you? A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people weren't taught that. A lot of people can't function like that. So God bless the child, surely, that holds their own. Justice. Ooh, everything just went crazy. Everything just went crazy. And it don't look the way it's supposed to look. Ah, the Hermit. 9. So someone's hiding and they're doing some soul searching, introspection, contemplation, wisdom, truth seeking, being alone, independence, inner guidance, meditation, consciousness. But in the midst of all that, or what they're doing, there's somebody either trying to do divination or manifestation. We do not know until we know. Then we got the Fool. So somebody's looking for a fresh start. Creative opportunities, intuitive messages. There's no number here. All right. So we have our advice. Just like I said it the other day. Right now, he wants us to go to him. Yes, he likes us to counsel with each other. Yes. He wants us to go to him because that truth is coming out. Whoever did a truth ritual, truth serum, truth whatever they did, whoever asked for the truth, because I ask for the truth every day when I wake up, whoever is requesting the truth, I admire you. Thank you for being brave enough and bold enough to meet me halfway, because I've been asking for the truth as well. The truth is being revealed by way of our Creator. Amen. And by his children. The truth is being revealed. Like I said, you as a parent, when you have the yard and the kids say, I want to play hide and seek, do you not know your children? Do you not know the hiding nooks in which they hide? You think God don't see you hiding behind that hair. You think God don't see you hiding behind that dress. You think he don't see you hiding behind those glasses in that briefcase. You don't think he see you hiding behind that bank. There's nothing you could put on that would hide you from the sight nor the wrath of our Father. So I suggest you straighten up. All right. And I know some of us get a little raggedy sometimes, and a little raggedy can be fun sometimes. But just make sure you keep it cool, keep it safe, keep it cute, all right? You're going to be all right. So we've got the hermit that came back out. So there definitely a lot of people are in hermit mode. They're trying to figure it out. They don't want to come back out and do the same damage. A lot of people are tired. They're tired. There are a lot of sleepless nights going on right now. People are worried about their families. People are worried about their loved ones. People are worried about this war. People are really anxious about what's going on, especially when they have taken their decisions. It has to be very alarming to every time you log on to whatever source you log on to. There's a pushing agenda. There's a big thing popping up about not trusting the systems that you've tried to trust all the time. Like every time you log on, there's a mistrust or a distrust in the system being logged on. You don't think that they're telling you that on purpose to keep you in constant panic, do you? Because before they used to didn't tell us shit. Now all of a sudden you can't wake up without someone telling you something on somebody, which means that there are a lot of things that have been hidden all the time. It's just now we're asking the questions and trying to have the hard conversations. I don't think the point of it is for you to get overwhelmed. It's for you to actually feel a little bit better that you're not as crazy as you thought you were. You're not as crazy as people tried to make you be. How is it when sometimes, because today, and thank you and thanks for all my subscribers. I appreciate you. We are definitely going up. Thanks for the likes, shares, and the subscribes. I so adore you. But the thing about it is, it's like we're here. We're in the information ages. We were warned that information was going to be coming out. We also told you that we can't give you everything at the same time because you have to be palatable. You have to make sure that a person can absorb what you're putting down, and you don't want to send people into shock, and you don't want to give them too much that they can't handle. So really, I don't think the information is for you to get anxious about. Okay, bless you. Don't get anxious. Okay, surrender. Know that you can't control everything. The things that you do have within your grasp, you do the best with them that you can. And the things that you can't, be appreciative of the information and move accordingly. Don't start to panic. From the very first breath, you will surely die. We live our lives as a story told. What's your story? Okay. I love you. I love you so much. We had a 9, a 10, and a 10 and a 21, which means, there are some people that are heartbroken of how the world is working, and some people are in hermit mode and they got to contemplate, but the world is changing as we know it. And that's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We have the 9 and the 10, which is the 19. We have the 21. Let me put that together. Because sometimes when you think you're going to add it up without saying anything, you don't. So there's a 39, which is a 12, which turned it back into a 3. Found its way back to the creator, didn't it? From dust to dust. From whence we came and where we going. It is, and this is it. We live our lives as a story told. We come in this earth by ourselves. We meet the world. Oops, my bad. I didn't see boobies. We meet the world. And we leave it however we leave it. But no, surely we will be leaving. And that is it. From the beginning to the end. You come in by yourself and you leave by yourself. Do the best you can while we up here on top. Okay? So this has been A Morning with Nix. I'm going to go heat my coffee up and get my little drummer boy from the back room there because he's tapping. And we're going to go drink some coffee, and I think he's got some oatmeal cream pies to smash. All right. Talk to you later. Don't come for me. Remember, because somebody might be spinning you. It's going to be all right.